Tonight on CTV News, we have another look at a rally that took place in Denver Monday night. Then later on, we have an exclusive interview with Temple Grandin.
After that, we have a full weather forecast in sports and entertainment. All this and more starting now on CTV News.
Good evening, and thanks for watching CTV News. I'm Marlo Lundak.
And I'm Willis Scott. Here's what you might have missed today.
President's Day on Monday hardly seems like a day to celebrate our leaders of the past and present due to anti-Trump rallies breaking out across the country, including in Denver. The Colorado State Capitol in Denver was flooded with around 300 protesters on Monday evening for the Not My President's Day rally. The rally was a public event hosted by Hannah Kafafitpour and Desi Saint, who created a Facebook page inviting thousands.
I just think we can't take this lying down, and I think of my future grandchildren, and when they ask me what I did during this terrible, frightening time, I want to say that I stood up and said that this isn't right.
People began gathering at the Capitol around 4:30 with colorful and thought-provoking signs. At 5, speakers and hosts of the event, Alex Landau, Tay Anderson, and Hannah Kafafitpour, got up and shared their words and experiences.
Women's rights are human rights. LGBTQ rights are human rights. Black rights are human rights. Native rights are human rights. Latino and Latina rights are human rights once and for all.
All people were invited up to let their messages be heard. After the speakers ended and the sun began to set, the protesters took to the streets. The route was escorted by Denver police officers, and the crowd was large enough to shut down major streets in downtown Denver, including the 16th Street Mall and Broadway Street. Some protesters stayed behind the larger crowd to stand on the street outside the Capitol to show their signs to passing cars, while others stayed on the front steps of the building. Lasting around an hour and 20 minutes, the march ended where it began. Although it was dark, the protesters were not willing to stop.
The protests matter. Seeing all these people come together, it energizes us. It reminds us that we're not fighting alone. We have to keep fighting, and it does make the conservatives uncomfortable.
When the crowd returned, speakers concluded with final remarks, and all protesters flooded the front steps of the Capitol chanting, "Not my president."
Not my president! Not my president! Not my president!
After interviewing rallygoers, most encouraged people of all ages, especially youth and young adults, to educate themselves on current affairs and to get out and help the movements by getting involved in local groups and protests.
Last week, we updated you on the proposed ordinance in Fort Collins that many think is targeting the homeless population. The American Civil Liberties Union of Colorado wrote a letter asking the city of Fort Collins to abandon the sit-lie ban. The ban is part of the Compassion and Consequences policy proposal that seeks to combat homelessness. The letter calls the ban outrageous, cruel, and absurd. The ACLU of Colorado says the ban specifically targets the homeless population, which, according to the letter, may violate First Amendment rights. The ordinance would only allow people in the downtown area, the same boundaries as the current smoke-free ordinance, to sit on a bench for 1 hour at a time. It would also prohibit lying and sitting on sidewalks or leaving personal items on benches and the ground. The letter states that all cities should address the underlying problems of homelessness rather than attempting to sweep it out of sight. The city will host an open house this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. at the Northside Aslan Center to discuss the proposed ordinance.
The Asian Pacific American Cultural Center will hold weekly roundtable conversations called Kai to Understand. The conversations will center around heritage, identity, culture, and oppression, and will occur every Wednesday evening at 5 in the APACC office in Laurie Student Center Room 333. Amanda Thompson and Sid Sahota, co-facilitators for Kai to Understand, said the discussions are a revamped version of APACC's Tea Time discussion series. According to Thompson, the weekly discussions will vary between planned topics and open discussions. Previous planned discussions focused on the parallels of Islamophobia and how Asian Americans were treated in World War II, and what it means to be a student of color in the residence halls. Thompson hopes the discussions will encourage students to learn more about the history and culture of Asian Pacific Islander identities, and additionally, they encourage all CSU students to attend the discussions.
Parking around Fort Collins continues to be a hot-button issue. A new proposal may increase the amount students pay to park on campus. Colorado State University Parking and Transportation Services discussed a proposal for alternative parking permits for the 2017-18 academic year. Parking Services has spent the last year analyzing how the current parking system is utilized by staff and students to create a proposal. The CSU Board of Governors will meet on May 1st to hear the proposal. They're responsible for the implementation of the plan. The proposal offers new permit options to students and staff. One of the passes would be valid for 3 days a week at 3/5 the cost of a regular pass. All current parking permit rates are going to increase an average of 3%. For a full year commuter pass, that's an increase of $15. But residence hall permits will increase by $152 because the price did not rise during the 2016 academic year.
CSU continues to advocate for students who are affected by the national travel ban on 7 countries. Last Saturday, CSU President Tony Frank and members of his staff visited the Islamic Center on Lake Street, just south of CSU's campus. Frank was able to meet a graduate student whom CSU helped get back to Fort Collins after she was stuck in Libya with her baby. Dr. Frank and his staff answered questions from members of the Muslim community while eating lunch provided by the Islamic Center. Frank says the things that divide a community are small in comparison to the things we have done, to things we have in common with others.
There are so many connections between the mosque and the university, students, faculty members, alumni. It's a great chance for us to demonstrate that we're all members of this community together, and that the things that we have in common, that we share, are so much more important than those that divide us.
CSU professor Dr. Temple Grandin is going to be inducted to the National Women's Hall of Fame this September. People know her best for her revolutionary work in the cattle industry. She developed infrastructure and handling techniques to make moving and slaughtering livestock more ethical and efficient. She has also helped parents and teachers understand children with autism better. Grandin was diagnosed with autism when she was 2 years old. She says that her autism has helped her to understand the way cattle respond to stressing situations. She is a pioneer in the meatpacking industry. Grandin says she faced adversity in an industry dominated by men.
In the early 70s, I was the first woman to milk cows at the Arizona State University dairy farm, and they didn't even have a ladies' room. I had to use the men's room. Being a woman in a man's industry in the early 70s was not easy. And one of the things that motivated me is I wanted to prove I could do it.
Well, Dr. Grandin is certainly a bit of a celebrity here at CSU.
Yeah.
And Marlo, you were telling me that you just watched her TED Talk on Different Minds over the weekend. How'd you like it? What'd you think about it?
It was awesome. You know, I didn't know how big of a deal Temple Grandin was. I learned so much about the impact she's had on the cattle industry. I learned about how people on the autism spectrum think in all different ways, how she thinks in pictures and patterns and verbally. So it was really cool to learn all of that stuff. It's really awesome that we have a professor at CSU like that.
It's very cool to learn how different minds work, and of course how she was able to use that to kind of get into the mind of a cow and do that really neat engineering.
Yes, very cool. Well, that will do it for news, and while the weather outside has been pretty nice, we can't help but to think, are these warm temperatures going to stick around? Sierra Cymes has the latest in weather coming up next.
And then later on we have sports and entertainment.
Tune in to KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and kcsufm.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
Welcome back to CTV with your weather. I'm Sierra Cymes. Currently, we're looking at our live cam here at local Colorado State University. Outside of our studio, we're looking at the Laurie Student Center and that American flag gently waving in the breeze. It was a ripping with that breeze earlier today. Those winds were very intense, but now it looks like it's cooling off, cooling down on those winds as well. It's very good news. Currently it's 60 degrees outside, very pleasant. 9 miles per hour from the southwest, that wind, and the sunset was at 5:43. A beautiful sunset, pinkish, orangish. Just beautiful. Now it's cooling off, and into tonight we can expect some cooler temperatures. We're seeing some 20s and 30s along western Colorado, 40 in Grand Junction, very pleasant over there. Along the I-25 corridors, 40 as well, 44 in Denver, 40 here in Fort Collins. Along eastern Colorado, some 30s, 39 in Burlington, 37, very nice as well in Lyman. Now into tomorrow we can expect some warmer temperatures as well. We're seeing some 30s and 40s along western Colorado, 59 in Grand Junction, 53 in Alamosa. Along the I-25 corridor, some 60s, 60s in Fort Collins, getting warmer, 69, high 60s in Colorado Springs as well, 73 in Pueblo. We are also reaching some 70s over in eastern Colorado, 77 in Lamar, as well as some mid to low 60s along eastern Colorado. Now, are these warm temperatures going to last? Well, they will into tomorrow. We're looking at a 9 a.m. of 46 degrees, partly cloudy, a little bit of wind into your 12 p.m. hour, 17 mile per hour gusts, but not as strong as it was today. So we can expect that into the afternoon. It's going to cool off that wind though by 4 p.m., but 58 degrees. The high is 60 tomorrow, so very pleasant. But as we're looking forward into our 7-day forecast, that is not going to last. Now into Thursday, we can expect some snow and possibly rain in the afternoon. 39 degrees there, 19 degrees overnight, and look at Friday, 10 degrees for that overnight low. If you're planning on going out, bring that warm coat, bring that warm weather gear. 34 degrees on Friday, moving into some 40s for Saturday and Sunday. The clouds still staying in there. Some very low overnight temperatures as well. Monday, the sun is going to bring us some 50s as well. That's going to be very nice. And Tuesday, 51 degrees. Very pleasant. But the reason for this cold temperature is actually a cell that has been coming in from northern United States that has been dropping down Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can see that it is going to completely cover Colorado and bring us that overcast skies, those colder temperatures that we're going to be seeing. Now we can expect some pleasant weather for tomorrow, but later in the week, let's be prepared for that cold weather. That's all for weather. Up next, Tim McCall with sports.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft. To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Hello and good evening, Rams. I am your sports anchor, Tim McCall, here to keep you updated on all the latest happenings in the world of Rams sports. Although the spring season is upon us, CSU's fall athletes are still breaking records. This morning it was announced that a school record has been broken as 58 CSU fall athletes have earned academic All-Mountain West recognition. This surpasses the previous record of 48 Rams earning academic All-Conference honors during the fall of 2015. The 58 athletes span over 5 fall sports and are being recognized for posting a GPA over 3.0 last semester. 3 athletes, Alex Hess on the women's cross-country team, Amanda Young on the volleyball team, and Ricardo Campfin on the men's cross-country team, have a cumulative GPA of 4.0. 14 student athletes hold a GPA of 3.75 or higher. A new academic standard has been set for the athletes here at CSU thanks to the strong performance in the classroom from last fall's student athletes. In CSU women's basketball news, The Rams have only 4 games remaining in the regular season and will be looking to clinch the Mountain West Conference regular season title for the 4th consecutive year. The Rams sit at 20-6 on the season and need just one more win to clinch their share of the Mountain West title. If the Rams win 2 of their remaining 4 games, they will have sole ownership of the Mountain West Trophy. The Rams will try to secure their most important victory of the season tomorrow night against the New Mexico Lobos in the Moby Arena at 7 p.m. If the Rams can get the win, it will be their 7th straight win in Moby Arena and their 4th straight win over the Lobos. Head coach Ryan Williams has the Rams playing stellar defense this season as the Rams rank 3rd in the country in scoring defense, giving up less than 54 points per game. Combine that with the fact that the Rams also have the 7th lowest turnover rate in the country, and it becomes obvious that Coach Williams has the girls playing extremely smart and efficient basketball. It is this style of play that has the Rams sitting on the cusp of yet another Mountain West title. Don't miss out on the Rams tomorrow night versus the Lobos as they try to secure yet another banner to hang in Moby Arena. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The CSU men's track and field team had another successful week in the polls. The Rams have moved up 1 spot from last week in the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association and now sit at 11th in the country. The Rams have ranked as high as 9th in the country this season and will look to continue to climb the rankings each and every week. They remain the only track and field team, men's or women's, from the Mountain West to receive a spot in the national rankings this season. The Rams' next appearance will come at the Mountain West Indoor Track and Field Championship in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The 3-day meet will start this Thursday, so be sure to check out collegian.com to see if your Rams are able to continue their streak of dominance within the Mountain West Conference. The CSU football season is 199 days away, but who's counting? Head coach Mike Bobo made an exciting announcement this week, stating that the Rams have added yet another player to their 2017 recruiting class, with the signing of junior college transfer and defensive end Jamori Fox. The Rams now have 28 players in this year's recruiting class. Fox was a standout on the defensive line last year at Ellsworth Community College in Iowa, and will have 3 years of eligibility remaining once he arrives here at CSU. Fox is one of many recruits that the Rams should be excited about, and he will no doubt be an exciting player to watch this year as he tries to make a name for himself in Fort Collins. Make sure to check out collegian.com for more CSU football recruiting news. That's all we have for sports tonight, but don't go anywhere because up next it's Ryan Crist with all the latest in entertainment.
What is up, Rams? I'm your president and your entertainment anchor, here to bring you all things entertainment, starting with some great new tech news. Have you ever had the problem of lying in bed with your phone, then turning over only to pull the cord out of the outlet, or having your cord get so tangled so much to the point that your charger doesn't even work? Well, apparently there's a new product out there for people like me and you, called the Motherbox, a brand new wireless charger. You just put in this paper-thin adapter and turn on the Bluetooth, and then your phone will start charging no matter where you are. This looks awesome because I know my charging cord just barely reaches my bed, and the amount of times I've almost fallen out of my bed flat on my face is, well, too many to admit. If I ever show up with a neck brace, you now know why. But anyways, I can't wait for this product to come out. In some more tech news, IMAX has just changed why you should go to the movies. IMAX just made a deal with HTC and Sony's VR department to get virtual reality experiences in the movie theaters. Now, they haven't decided to do a VR movie, which is good because being immersed like that for that long wouldn't be enjoyable. But they do have full immersive games and short fun movies like Star Wars Trials of Tatooine, which lasts about 15 minutes. Their reasoning for this is because not many people have tried it before and they don't have the money to do so. This is a cool new idea, and I think it's crazy that there actually might be VR movies soon. Now, if you don't know and you haven't tried it before, and if you're anything like me, don't do it on a full stomach. It's not pretty. With President's Day being yesterday, I went to the CSU Plaza to see who could name the most presidents and to ask a bit of president trivia. Awesome. So just how many presidents can you name? So list them off. It's easier to start with, of course, the most recent.
Oh, I was going to start at the beginning.
You can start wherever you want.
All right. Washington, Jefferson, James Madison, John Adams. Did I say John Adams already? Oh, John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln.
A bonus question. So we all know the president, JFK.
Yes.
Oh my
God.
God.
Oh God.
So what does the F stand for?
Franklin.
Calvin Coolidge, Teddy Roosevelt, FDR, Woodrow Wilson.
All right, are you guys looking?
Franklin? I don't know.
Harry Truman, Eisenhower, Richard Nixon, Ford.
Oh man. Oh God. I have no clue. I have no idea.
Came after Ford. Jimmy Carter, Bush the first, Clinton, Reagan, almost skipped Reagan, George W. Bush, and then Obama, and then Trump.
Wow, 22.
22?
That's almost half.
It's like Fitzgerald, right?
It is, that's correct.
Yeah.
22. I know I couldn't name that many. And speaking of presidents, Donald Trump was in the news once again. Our president-elect Donald Trump, who was turning heads this weekend, but not towards himself, but to Sweden. Yes, if you didn't hear the news, Donald Trump claimed that Sweden has taken in a large number of immigrants, and on Friday night, they were having problems because of that. The only thing that happened on Friday night was a rock concert in Sweden's light show malfunctioned, and they had to play in low lighting. Trump claimed to have not said this information was 100% true, but he was just referencing Fox News reports on how there may or may not be problems in Sweden soon because of this intake. I feel like he maybe should have been just a little bit more specific about that, but for now, my heart goes out to the rock band concert in Sweden. I'm sorry your light broke. Lastly, with some Disney news, and with Beauty and the Beast coming out March 17th, Disney has started announcing their cast for the next live-action film, which is The Lion King. James Earl Jones is, of course, returning as Mufasa, and if you haven't known, we are getting a new voice for Simba. Donald Glover, or Childish Gambino, has been announced to play Simba, putting out multiple tweets that he is saying he can't wait to be king. These Disney live-action films have been great and a hit, and I can't wait to see this one. As of right now, it's not yet said when it's going to come out, but we should expect it in the next year. My one big question is, with Childish Gambino playing Simba, I wonder if we're going to hear any rap versions of the original songs. I feel like Hakuna Matata would make for a great remix. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Don't forget to watch our CTV Cooks tomorrow to learn to see if our own staff has what it takes to be bartenders. And make sure to have a great night, Rams.